A lot of people are familiar with this. We've heard about this wonderful project, but for those who are not, what is the Nehemiah Project?
The Nehemiah Project started about 20 years ago when a local businessman said that he wanted to rebuild the walls of Chattanooga. And he wanted to start that by supplying school supplies to inner city students who didn't have school supplies. So that year we were given a blank check, carte blanche to go to Office Depot, buy everything retail, and fill 5,000 backpacks and deliver them to inner city students. That's not the case anymore. We don't have carte blanche. We don't have a blank check, but we do still supply about 6,500 backpacks every school year to as many inner city schools as we can. Given that it's COVID, the last 2 years, we've kind of mixed things up a little bit. Last year, we partnered with the Hamilton County School Board. But this year, we're doing something a little different and just having community involvements, getting community organizations to host events for distribution so that the kids could be in their own community and pick up their school supplies instead of having to drive downtown if they weren't able to drive, or parents weren't able to drive. Just going to them where they were so that they could get what they need. So that's basically what we do. School supplies is one thing. We do underwear. We do anything the school calls and asks us for that might come in a pack. So if they need packs of water, packs of Kleenex, packs of whatever, they call us and say, hey, we have a need. Could you help us? And we do our very best to reach out to the community to make those needs, make sure they're filled. So.
And Kelly, I've seen the scenes over the years, and of course we've covered it, of all the backpacks and just people coming to get the school supplies, and it really always is a wonderful event and wonderful way to kick off the start of a new school year. You say this talking about, school supplies, underwear, things like this. We don't realize sometimes, we just think, okay, these are extra things, but they really aren't, because kids need these things to really help them to have a good school year. And it shows when kids feel they have the adequate supplies, have a nice backpack, have what they need, they're able to concentrate and do better in school.
Absolutely. What we tell people too is it might seem like a box of crayons to you, but to a child who doesn't have to ask their neighbor to borrow theirs, for them it's I have my own, and someone cared enough about me to give me that. When we started adding underwear, it was just heart-wrenching because we actually went into a school during a tornado drill, and literally walking down the hall during the tornado drill with the children in position, we could see how many children actually weren't wearing underwear. And how miserable is it for a child if they've had an accident at school or they didn't have any to put on in the morning? How uncomfortable and miserable is that for a child? So we were like, oh, absolutely not. I can't live with this. When I was a child, that was one of the gifts we got every Christmas, just TMI, but we got new underwear and new socks for Christmas every year, and that's not the case anymore. So we make sure we go into the schools and we tell them, hey, if you have a child that has a need, I literally have thousands of pairs of underwear in my living room right now, getting ready to just distribute out to the schools, just because we don't want any child to feel like they don't have what they need.
That's so important. You talk about those little things, and that's okay. It wasn't TMI. That was like one of the things in my household. And every year, of course, that's not what my son looks forward to, but every year, just because I say, I'm refreshing your socks and your underwear, son. And it's like, okay, but these things they really are important. And like you said, to think that you don't have these are basic necessities.
Right.
And that's what this project is about, supplying those basic necessities so that kids can focus on other things and feel good about themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want every child to walk away feeling loved. That's my intentions every year. Now it's going to be really sad. Last year was sad for me because I didn't get to go in the classroom. And if you've ever been in the classroom with me, I'm going to pile on the floor. I'm going to love on them. I'm going to hug them. I'm going to tell them to have a good school year. So the last 2 years have been kind of hard for me. I've not been able to have that one-on-one attention with the kids. And I do consider them all my babies, all 6,500 of them every year. I say, there's my babies. I want to make sure they have a good year. So it's hard because I'm such a cuddler and a lover, and I want to make sure they know, hey, you don't know me, but I love you anyway. And I want to make sure you're taken care of. So even in the smallest way.
That is so important. And I will tell you, kids say, remember things like that. They'll say, I remember this lady who would come to our classrooms and she would hug on us, she would love on us. And she gave me that encouragement just when I needed that hug. And you hear, adults as they got older and say, I remember those times when I was a child that I needed that help and someone reached out and gave me that
Absolutely.
help. And I was able to go on and to concentrate and to do well in life. So this is
Absolutely.
important. So remind people again how this works this year. Like you said, you're going to be at different locations, but the dates, the times, and all of that.
So July 31st, this coming Saturday, we'll be at Spring Creek Elementary with Metro Tab Church. We'll be at Tucker Baptist Church. They'll be giving away backpacks and school uniforms, so I encourage everyone to go out there and see them. Harrison United Methodist Church will be distributing as well, and then Grace Point Church will be distributing at Hardy Elementary School. And then next Saturday, we'll also be at United Way this week at Shoes for Schools. And then next Saturday, we'll be at City Church on Lee Highway. We'll be at the Bethlehem Center, and then we'll be at the Beth Cup Saturday night, distributing to those communities as well over in Southside Chattanooga. August the 14th, I believe, we'll be doing a drive-through for off McBrien Road at the Anglican Church of the Redeemer for Barger Elementary. And then Orchard Knob will get a delivery on the 6th